Okay, so is anybody out there kind of curious why the car will show you a handicap, printer on the ground, mark, print, painting, whatever, road markings, but it won't show crosswalks yet? I find that still very interesting, the priorities. Anyway, on today's video, we are going out on a road drive out into the country. We're in a little place called Black Diamond, where I gotta be careful because one of their favorite things to do out here is to write tickets. And if you look like you have money, you get a bigger one. So, being that we're in a Tesla, we're gonna be a good boy. But what we're gonna be doing out here is we're gonna be testing out a couple things. Wow! What was that? Right off the bat, like an instant brake check around that corner. That's crazy. But what we're going to be doing out here is we're going to be watching, because out here on these country roads we're going to be venturing on here, we've got 15 minutes of them. There's a lot of spots where the road lines are not very clear, where there are sharp corners. Like, why are we on a 35 mile an hour speed limit right now when it's 25? There it goes. Okay, it just changed. Good. So I want to really just see with this 2020.12.5 update that we're on right now, if there's any difference out here in the country, because we've done lots of driving on the inner city, but not so much out there in the country. So we're going to be testing that out today, and I'm going to give this poor person a little bit more space. I'm going to go to maybe 4 clicks because it's so slow. When you adjust the speed inside these Teslas, the distance, not speed, so distance between you and the car in front, the faster you're going, the bigger the gap is, even though it's on the same setting, and then the slower it kind of shrinks it down. By the way, look at that. Person just registered on the screen. That's cool. This does not do, or it hasn't in previous updates, done very good registering people. I know Tesla Driver, I believe it was, just did an awesome video on that. If you haven't seen it, you should check that out, where I think it was him, that had, I think his girlfriend or wife walk in front. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was pretty interesting how it saw cones and everything else. But I have noticed how it does see people better on this update, which is something I've always had to complain about, because it, to me, seems like a pretty big priority to see people. I love that we can see every object that stands up out there. By the way, here's our first cop watching to see if I am obeying the speed limits here. Hello, copper. And, by the way, we're going to go to a roundabout here. Let's see how well this handles it. It's not gonna, of course. It's not supposed to yet, so I'm not, going to be mad at the car for it. I'm going to go really slow and just see how well it does. Yeah, we would have, see, told me to terminate right there. Whenever you hear that sound, by the way, guys, those of you guys who are new, that means make sure you're taking control of the car right away, because the car does not know what to do. And look at that bike lane. See, watch this. As we're going here, I got it set to 5. That's funny. Oops, let me put that back on. As we're going here, maybe it'll do it again on this upcoming lane. Watch on the right side here. Here it comes. See, bike lane. Little picture of a bike right there. So we can see bikes, we can see handicap signs. Look at it, 45 miles an hour right now? This is so not right. It is not 45 through here. What it cannot do, though, is see crosswalks. There's a crosswalk we just drove over. No crosswalk. I just don't get it. I'm hoping with the rewrite and with the city street driving and stuff coming, that we're going to have some more of those city street type markings, again, road. But yeah, just not yet. So anyway, we're now at 45 miles an hour. I guess it is 45 there. I got to quit questioning the car. I guess it does know. As long as the maps are updated, it's going to know. So, okay, we'll go at 5 over the speed limit here because I'm a daredevil. And we will just see how well this handles these corners. Again, we're looking for lots of good corners. We're looking for lots of chances to see how well it stays in the lines, because on my video where I reviewed this, it did a great job staying between the lines. And many of you guys actually came back and were like, yeah, it stayed between the lines well for me also. So I'm curious to see if that's going to continue on these windy roads out here, because we did another video about a month ago where it was way over the lines on this road. So we're going to take a look here and just see. So far, it's done a great job centering itself. And if you remember, my wife's concern on the drive video with the update was that she didn't like it staying in the center. She wanted it to hug more onto the outside lane, which I know a lot of people do share that. And I don't know if that's something that Tesla should give us the ability to control. And if it is something to control, maybe just a little bit. What do you guys think? Do you guys want that kind of control? I know we've talked about this before, but do you want that kind of control to be able to adjust where you are in the lane? I mean, I guess the more controls, the better in the settings. Hey, hug the right versus stay center. see, that right there is something I'm hoping that they fix soon too. Like, you saw that car, it was a good 10 feet out of the lane before the car stopped slowing down and actually accelerated. So that's another thing that I know a lot of you guys have commented on too, that kind of drives you a little bit crazy. It's just like, come on, like, the car was way out of the way, let's go. But I 100% see the other side of the argument, which many of you guys also say every time I make that comment, which is, it's better to be safe than sorry. Totally get it. And if we're looking at it from up here, let's be as safe as we can. Let's watch the lines. Watch the lines. Oh, that was good. We never touched them. I don't expect it to be perfectly centered because people aren't even perfectly centered. But that did do a really good job. Now let's see how it handles this biker up here. I know I cut off the sentence we were on earlier. I'm going to be right ready because I want the car to swerve away from this biker, and it's not going to. Oh, look at that. It saw the biker. I didn't want to take the risk, so I swerved it myself out of the way, but the car identified it. I mean, that's a big deal. A pedal biker on the screen. Now, it didn't show a picture of a motorcycle. It showed a bicyclist, and on the right side of the road there. Now, someday when it's not a stranger, I will test that. Like, maybe my wife can drive past me when I'm driving to see just what the car does. I would love to see it kind of swerve to the center line a little bit more, like we're supposed to do, to give them a little bit more space. That's interesting, though. It's definitely picking up people better. The recognition is better. And when we see 3D, like they're talking about coming out, the 3D, what's the words? You guys know the words. It's going to be drawing things now in 3D. Oh, look at this corner coming up, guys. It's slowing me down for the corner. Okay. Look at that. Is it going to handle it? Oh, it still didn't touch the blue. It still didn't touch the blue. Oh, it almost did though. But look, it slowed me down to 40 miles an hour for that corner. I had no touching there. So if you guys are new, if I were to have touched the brake there, it would have completely shut these blue lines off, and this blue steering wheel would have been turned off, so autopilot would have been turned off there. So I did not do that. It was all the car. Here's a sharp 90-degree turn here. Oh, what's it gonna do? Oh, wow. It did a pretty darn good job there, coming at it that hot. I think it barely touched the line there. It did actually touch the line, but just barely. That was impressive. I mean, it really grabbed. You felt the car hit the brakes and turn sharp. That was impressive. What? Guys, I'm not kidding you. Like, huge leaps and bounds over the previous updates. Like, you guys have heard me complaining about autopilot retracting in its abilities, but it's good now. Like, it's doing really good. I know we just kind of touched that line there for whatever reason. On the sharp corners, we've been doing great, but that little weird wiggle there, it did touch it. By the way, wiggle is such a great word. I try to use it as often as I can. Wiggle. So the next obstacle coming up here is going to be a sharp left, but I think I'm going to have to do this one because it's an actual turn. So I will handle that one. But the car's doing pretty darn good, and it's going to let me drive right past this if I don't take it. So I'm going to put the blinker on here and make this turn. All right, now as soon as I get the little blue steering wheel back, or gray, I'll make it blue. There we go. And see the stop sign here? We would have blown right through that. We do not have that yet. All right, but it did see it, so we know the car can see it. It's just got to start doing something about it here eventually. So, all right, so we got some swervy, look at all these swerves coming up. So we're going to get some good tests in on this run here. And I'm just so excited about this. I mean, autopilot is becoming fun again. I'm getting to where I can trust it again, which is like so exciting for me, because me and autopilot, we're like besties. We're like close. Like, we used to like call each other at home, but then it got to the point where it was like, hey man, like, I'll call you, you don't call me. You know what I mean? And so, but now we're good again. So that's really exciting. Okay, here comes our first corner. Let's see how it's doing. By the way, my left hand is always on the steering wheel. My right hand is doing this because I don't know how to talk without moving, but my left hand is on the steering wheel. Look at this sharp turn. Okay, it's not slowing down. We're going 5 over. Both hands are ready. Oh, it did slow down. 4 miles an hour for that corner. Whoa, yes. That was so good. Okay, it wants me to touch the steering wheel. Okay, I've just got my hands hovering right beside it. I'm letting the car do all of this. Okay, so the max is 45. It's holding 45 unless it needs to. So basically, it comes into the corner at full speed, sees it's not going to make it, then automatically slows down so it can make the turn. And you can feel it. And it's actually doing it in a smooth manner. It's not like it's aggressive and jerking. It's actually doing a good job. Wow. I am thoroughly impressed with how the car is handling right now. Okay, so we got a little bit into the next corner, and that's pretty exciting. Now we're seeing the 12.5 coming out, actually .6 coming out now, that has the stop sign and stoplight recognition where they're actually stopping. But from what I've gathered, it doesn't start you again. So it'll stop you, but it won't go. So I think this is one little step in the right direction, which will be fun to go and test out. We kind of touched that line there a little bit. I'm wondering if it's because my hand was a little bit stiffer on the wheel than it normally was, but nah, I think it just sort of made a boo-boo. But we're going good though. It's doing really well. It is interesting though. It definitely does better on the sharper. Look at this coming up. We got a big S turn here. Okay, hands are beside the wheel but not grabbing it. There's no cars around. Doing great job there, fantastic job. Now this is an interesting twist. There was a turn lane right there and it did great. It didn't swerve, it didn't jump, didn't try to get in that turn lane. It hugged the right line, which is everything I wanted. Now here's some nice sharp turns coming through the woods here, switchbacks. Okay, we got a car coming towards us there. It's holding it very nicely, right inside the blue line there. Great job. You got a biker up here on the left, but of course it's not an R. Oh yeah, see right there? Sharp. It got real sharp, so it slammed on the brakes, still made the corner. Here's a really sharp turn. Okay, and so it's gonna hug the left until the last second, then gets over. You guys, it's doing a phenomenal job right now. Like, this is a big deal. I mean, it bombed this test last time. Okay, we got 4 minutes left in this drive, guys. Come on, hang in there with me. We're gonna ace this drive here. If this was a rate this drive, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Yes, we touched a few lines, but you can't, come on, like, this is huge progress, okay? So it's interesting, like, it hugged the left, so it was good for this corner coming up here on the right. It's almost like it's doing it race car style. It's almost like it looks ahead, it knows there's a sharp left coming, so it hugs the right, so it can make it a nice, simpler, not as aggressive turn. That's what it feels like it's doing. I don't think it's doing that intentionally, but so, like, look at this. Like, right now we're centered, and then we're gonna be turning right here. Okay, that's a pretty easy turn for it. Let's see. No, this one's still. Okay, so I hugged the left. Yeah, it's hugging the left on a sharp left turn to give it a little more space to round out. That's interesting. That is interesting. So on this one, it should hug the right, like it did right there. Look at that, it hugged the right to give it more room to turn right. So I had more room to, it's really doing that, I think. That's actually incredibly intelligent. I never noticed that before. So if on a sharp left turn, it's gonna hug the left, so that as it comes out of the corner, it's got some more room, so it's not so jerky to the driver. And then on the right turns, it hugs the right a little bit, right on the line, and then it gives it more room so it doesn't cross over to the center line. So it's protecting that center line. So like right now we're hugging the left line. Look at this, because there's a sharp left coming. Look at that. It is literally hugging the left line to make this left turn. And now watch, as we turn, it swings a little bit more center. Look at that. That's brilliant. Now watch, we're hugging the right a little bit to make this nice sharp turn. Oh man. I never noticed that. You guys, come on, talk to me. Have you noticed that? Have you seen that in your driving? And if you haven't yet, please go out today. Those of you who are on 20.12.5, test this out and tell me, is this in my head or are you guys seeing this too? Because if this is really what's happening, that's some very intelligent programming to get the car to do that. I think that is brilliant. Well, guys, that's going to be the end of this drive. I think that is an ace. What do you guys think? Was that a phenomenal drive, phenomenal test? I think that's incredible. I think we're making huge strides on autopilot, and when the rewrite comes, it's going to be that much better, but this is cool. So I'm super stoked, guys. See you on the next video. Thanks again for watching another one of my videos. If you haven't already, please take a second and like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and more content. So here's what you can expect. Every week, my goal is to put out 3 videos. The next one in the tutorial series, an autopilot driving challenge video, as well as a product review. So now I just want to thank my patrons. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for believing in me and supporting this channel. And if you're looking for some accessories for your Model 3 or your Model Y, just go down below in the description. I've got codes to all kinds of products down there to save you a bunch of money while you're tricking out your car. Thanks again. See you soon.